Right, thank you for joining me. I am joined by Rob and Sally Turner. I've met them at Staffordshire Property Meet, which they created. For anyone that doesn't know, who are you both?
Well, we are a married couple for 30 years.
Wow.
For our sins. No, we work together. We used to be in construction and do our own properties, then decided to just get into full-time property. So we build, renovate, manage all of our own properties.
Everything.
Commercial and residential.
It's a mixture of single lets, HMOs and commercial as well. So we've got a service office building in the middle of Stafford that we rent out the rooms to small local businesses. It's quite interesting.
That's where it started, wasn't it? That was Parkfield,
Yeah.
and that you've done an amazing job with that.
Yeah.
I went past the other day as well and seen the signs, and it just looks a completely different building, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the lessons that we learned, that we should have done the outside as soon as we took the building over, to put your stamp on it from the outside, and we left it to the last minute. And it's one of those things that you need to learn. Make the outside look nice first.
Which I will say, we joined a group with a service office group, and Jerry Alexander, he said, he was a little bit of a mentor for us and said, you should definitely paint the building and put a new sign on.
Yeah.
And we kept saying, yes, we'll get round to doing it. And then some other people come along and he would say exactly the same to them and they didn't. And then, of course, you do it, and then all of a sudden you get seen more. So always listen to any mentors you have.
I remember, like I said, drove past the other day, and it literally, I've seen you put the photos on when we'd been to one of the meetings, and you just put it on the slide, didn't you? And then when I actually seen it, I was like, it looked transformed it, hasn't it? And just for probably not that much, really, just hard work and just, great job.
Makes a difference.
I need to look at my notes here. Sorry, so you say 30 years, did you say you've been not married, sorry?
So we've been married 30 years, but we've been, you've been in construction, Rob's been in construction.
You started off with construction, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so ran our own building company. It's a family-run building company that went for nearly 40 years. And I took over halfway through and carried on doing it, but eventually you realise there's easier things and easier ways of making money.
I can imagine that was quite stressful, running a lot of pressure, isn't it? For, I suppose, definitely for other people with deadlines as well.
Well, there was 25 members of staff that were looking after employees, and that's trials and tribulations.
That certainly does.
Yeah. And a lot of the work was work for farmers who got grants from the government for electricity, for the wind farms, and so it's very government based and very hit and miss. So
it's I think it was 2010 when the building company had never suffered during recessions and always suffered during booms. So when everybody else was busy, we were kind of like not having that much work. So 2010 came along, and then it's like, it's a bit of a recession for everybody else. I thought, got 3 people and about $3,000 in the bank. So what do I do? Can't carry on with the same way to work. That just disappeared. So what do? I'll go and get business coaching. That'll help. And then all of a sudden, over 5 years, it went from 3 staff to 25, turning over probably $200,000, something like that, to $2.5 million. Wow. It's a really big set of growth. But then you come to the end of it and you realise, well, this isn't really making me any richer, either time-wise or more money-wise. And I'm just spending most of my time helping the staff deal with their own issues, And it became a kind of an eye-opener, because in the background, during the boom, we bought 3 single lets. They just carried on paying money out every month. Needed a bit of maintenance, but not much. We only go there once every 2 or 3 years. Probably the gas safe guy go there once a year, sorting everything else. But you never go around. And it's like, well, this is just, why am I doing one thing, it's killing me, and then doing another thing that's straightforward? Okay, just swap and just do one thing full time, which is kind of what we did in 2015. Full time into property.
I was just about to ask, is that when you bought a few previous, and then just realised, I tell you what, this is a bit.
We went down the business coaching route, spent a lot of money on coaching, and probably had about 3 business coaches during that 5 years, and grew. Coaches, because you can have people telling you what to do during a period of time, but after a while you kind of outgrow what they'll tell you, and you have to move on. And there's different reasons as you grow your business, things you need to put into place that make a difference to what you do. Otherwise, you just keep going around in circles, doing the same thing over and over again. But you need to move on from the coach and carry on growing. And it's using that mentality that it required during there to apply to the property that we're doing now.
Yeah, that with that, when did so you got them 3? So you just took did you just shut the business down and just literally just go for it?
Yeah,
and then
basically.
Pretty much as a creditors meeting, which when you close your business, you have to attend. with the liquidator, and then there's a bricklayer standing there. Says, "What are you doing?" He said, "You're going to start up again another different business, a building company, aren't you?" Because literally the name of our property company is similar to a building company name. And it's all, no, it's not. It's a property company. They're not doing any more building work. And he's got a bit taken aback by it, thinking he was pulling a fast one. But it's literally Friday, building company, Monday morning, property company. Now you've got to make it work because we've lost both the salaries. You've got to go for it.
I can imagine that's
and
a lot.
And rent is the way we went.
Is that how you started? Is that? I've never done that, but I was obviously, until I've come along to your property meet, I weren't aware. I've obviously done my research online, listened to podcasts, etc. But like, it was great to go and meet people to see what other. I didn't know that was a thing.
Nor did we.
Because that's a good way to get in with not as much capital, isn't it? Yeah. So you don't need that much money to start in comparison, should we say? But it's. I suppose it's always got a risk factor, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, it was HMO, so we'd done a year-long property training course, and we'd sort of dismissed rent to rent because we were like, no, building company, we're going to do flips.
Yeah.
But when you need to make money fast, HMOs are quite good. However, big outlay if you're going to buy.
Yeah.
But if you're doing rent to rent, it was a very good learning curve. Learning curve, yeah, absolutely. So we did that for the first few houses. And gradually, over time, we've been able to buy them. We've got a couple left, haven't we? But it's led to more and more, and we quite enjoyed managing them.
Well, it's like, so it's a great way to learn, isn't it?
Yeah, you can try an area as well. So we had a rent-to-rent in Wolverhampton, and it's. I keep saying to everybody, my car only goes in one direction. That's to Stafford. It doesn't go to Wolverhampton. Doesn't like going there or anywhere else really. So you go there, and it's like, all of a sudden, they brought out Article 4, which means you need to get planning to change a normal house into an HMO, and they've got to give a year's notice. So that everyone who is Wolverhampton and landlord in Wolverhampton is sitting there going, "I better convert my house now." So all of a sudden, there's 9 rooms for every working person looking on spare room, and it's like, oh dear, this isn't probably a good area. And if we'd have bought there, it'd have been a really kind of catastrophic problem. We'd have to suffer it, carry on going. Probably putting money into a deal to keep it working. Whereas rent to rent is like, okay, we'll keep going for 5 years. We haven't got it back. We haven't put that much money into it, and it's still breaking even. Just carry on. It might get better. It might not. And in the end, we ended up selling that deal to somebody else.
So you've done that as well, sold on deals as well.
Yeah.
This was all like a learning curve for me because I was probably a bit like, who would do that? Well, then like I said, until you know, you don't know what you don't know, do you? And I think it's great.
The deal had come to an end, and they asked us if we wanted to do it again. The landlord, there's 2 landlords, and we said no because our other properties are all in Stafford, and we're going to just concentrate because HMOs, you've got a lot of tenants, and they seem to think that you don't work 9 to 5. So any problems when they come in afterwards. So when you've got to deal with going out at night when you've got kids as well, you want something that's close. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, you don't want to be like, it's just that bit too bit too far, isn't it?
So the cars go to Stafford now.
Yeah, it's the only place. What you just while I remember actually while we're on that, you said you had the 9 people looking for one room because you said that in the last meeting. I did write a note of it.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good because obviously it's all new to me as well. So if you're looking in an area, how can someone check the demand in their area? Because you said last meeting.
Yeah, I mean you can look on spare room and you can look at how many rooms are available in that area versus how many people are looking, and that's really quite good to.
Well, it just gives you. It's going to be fairly accurate, isn't it? You can't obviously rely on it. It was going to give you a good indicator, isn't it?
You can. I mean,
I thought that was
there's
really good.
Other ways of getting tenants in with different websites, but the majority of them do come from spare room for HMOs. However, if you're in an area where you're looking to see, go to networking. Local networking groups are great because you get to speak to landlords who are HMO landlords or serviced accommodation or anything, whatever your strategy is, go and seek out those professionals already and just pick their brains a little bit, but also be prepared to do a little bit of training.
Yeah.
Maybe get a little bit of a mentor and pay them for what they want because they're, half of these people have already paid a lot of money for their training and they're learning.
You learn from their mistakes, don't you, as well? It's nice to have someone just to talk you through things, isn't it?
Yeah. But if you're looking at something like serviced accommodation, I would be looking on booking.com and Airbnb for comparisons.
You can have a look what's in the area, can't you?
So
that's great.
always just comparing yourself. Look at the photographs, look at what's out there. you don't want to be the most expensive, but you don't want to be
The cheapest either.
you know,
Yeah.
So it's just pitching it correctly.
Great advice. What I do want to know, what made you start? So anyone who doesn't know as well, obviously it's Staffordshire Property Ladder now, isn't it? But it started from Porterfield, the business centre, the meeting there. What made you start that? What was the idea? And
I'd had this little bit of a burning desire for many years to do it. However, we used to go and help out at other meetings in the Black Country, in Stoke, Wolverhampton, but there was never anything around where we wanted. So at each one of these meetings, I'd stand up and say, "Oh, has anybody got know any landlords or deals or painters, decorators, whatever I needed in the Cannock area?" And nobody could ever give me an answer. And I can probably count on one hand how many times people answered me in a space of 10 years. So it's just like, do you know what? We need to start our own, because then we can then start mingling with the local investors and local tradespeople and put everybody together so we can help each other. So for me, that was what it was all about, and getting to know everybody. So
I couldn't agree more. I remember just searching online because I'd never done it. I thought, I wonder if there's anything in the area. And this, obviously, you'd started it at this point, and then I was like I said, a lot of them were seen were either Stoke, Wolverhampton, Birmingham, and like you said, I don't want to go that far.
No.
It's an hour's travelling, isn't it? Over there and back.
Exactly
2
that,
hours.
with the traffic and that, and then seeing it was in where it was, like doorstep. I got there, and then everyone I've met has been brilliant.
And then we even put some food on as well.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I remember the first time I went. I can't remember the tickets said cheap, and then you went and you had all your coffees and food on. I was like, I felt like I should have brought my own, because I was just like, this is like really brilliant setup. Everyone's there, and I just felt like you said, it's everything just hidden cost, though, isn't it? Even just like jars of coffee, it all adds up, doesn't it? And it must have cost you a small fortune putting it on each week. So I'm very grateful. And then it's turned to be now is how long has it been going?
It's actually been going 3 years this year. Yeah, and we have missed our birthdays each time. Well, the last 2 years. So the first year we moved, and we had road closures going through, and of course the meeting used to be free when it was at our business centre. But then we had road closures, and they were really quite bad road closures, where it was one of those you had to turn up every day and just see which roads were open. So then we were like, okay, we need to move it. But then, of course, moving it, hiring a room meant that we had to charge.
Yeah, of course.
It was the best thing we did, though, wasn't it? Because we didn't have to set up that much.
Yeah.
Otherwise, at the end of the meeting, we were washing up all the cups and saucers and plates
all
and get
that,
anything ready for tomorrow morning. So the rest of the business people can come in and not have any problems. And so, we're missing out on the networking. And it's just easy to go to somebody else's networking meeting if you're going to do that.
It's a beautiful place as well, isn't it? It really
venue,
nice.
the new venue,
Hampton
Trussell,
the moat house, isn't it? Yeah, like really nice. And you've done a great. But like I think, like you said, just want to say thank you for that, because the effort you two must have put in, to obviously what you put into every week, every month now. Sorry, but even before that, when you're doing it all yourself, like you said, it must have been great work. It must have been really hard work.
And we do love people to come. There was somebody last month who said it was the closest meeting he'd ever been to as well. He's in Newport, was he?
I was talking to him. He's a really nice chap, wasn't he? Was he a surveyor as well? He had a
guy who's coming to talk. The construction app.
He did. Yeah, that was it, was it? It was Cheensbury. He's got his Newport. He just bought somewhere, and he's a really nice chap. He was, And like you said, it's just nice to everyone that goes is dead helpful, just dead chatty, and
I wanted it to be a place for people to feel comfortable.
Yeah,
so absolutely,
exactly that. When obviously I go with Tom, obviously, and we go, we really enjoy it, and it's just like everyone. There's no knobheads. There's probably
and we don't
probably
like
better
people,
word to say that.
We don't like people selling.
Except for the two at the
much.
front.
So it is.
So
we're not there selling courses.
No,
and we've got sponsors there that come, and they do talk about things that they do, and but they use quite a few of them who know what they're like, and they offer kind of a good service. And if you want to use them, you can.
It's exactly that, and there's no like exactly what you said. You go to some of them, don't you? And it's just they're just reeling out sales, aren't they? Just like I don't particularly want that really. Yeah, and it's like, especially if it's not value for money. Whereas in that, like you said, it's not a pushy environment. Everyone's dead nice and helpful. If you've got a problem, you can put it in the group, and everyone will do the best, or they'll know someone that can help you. If someone just starting out in property now, what would you recommend? What would you recommend? What would you recommend for a young person starting out, or any person should I say starting out in property now?
I think you've got to really have a look and focus on what you would like to do. But once you start it, stick with it. Find the one, and okay, you're going to see quite a lot of different strategies, but then stick with it and focus in one area.
Yeah.
Because I just think
Don't try
there's
and
a lot of
stretch
people
yourself.
get properties all over the country.
It's
Problems.
It's focus in one area near to where you live. See if there's a problem. Someone put it on the property group. I think it was yesterday. They got a blocked toilet.
Durham on it.
Yeah,
Oh, no, sorry.
Yeah,
I was
and
getting
you couldn't really tell from that what the actual problem was, but the problem was reasonably serious. So it was a blocked toilet in the block of flats, and the block was outside. And they sent a plumber there, and it's like, if it was around the corner, you could just drive in your car and go and see and sort it out. Whereas if it's 2 or 3 miles away, or sorry, not too bad, 3 hours away, you're just relying completely on the agent to go up there and sort it out. And on a Saturday and Sunday, they're not interested, not there to sort those kind of problems out. It's yours. So keep it local.
Yeah, because you can just. I've had it with mine. If I've had any issues, I can just pop round and then I can just talk to one of my friends that knows local. It's a good tradesman, and just it saves a lot of that for me personally. But
it's that thing. What's that thing people keep telling you about property? It's not hands off. What is it?
Oh, well, passive income. Yeah, bollocks. Yeah.
You can have it passive, but you better find shares in some kind of property company in Barrett Homes. That's probably the only way you're going to get it any kind of passive. But if you're doing it yourself, make it reasonably passive by keeping it close. Then you can keep control of what goes on.
Yeah, I always see like people put like a photo on that passive income. They're on the roof or something like blocking out the drains and that, and it's all sorts of. It's not easy by any stretch, is it? But definitely can be worse.
It's easier than running a building company.
I can imagine that, mate. 100%. Yeah, I can imagine that, especially with that many people you had.
One of the things that opened my eyes to it was the training course that we went to, Simon Switch's training course, and he said basically do the work once, get paid long term. Which, when you're in a building company and you're looking, I think we had 8 home extensions on at any one time, so you have to have a massive sales team going out trying to find all new jobs, new customers every time with new different expectations, and then the job would only last 3 months, and then it'd be, we need another one and another one and another one. So loads of costs are just going out the window, just paying for someone to find more work. When really, if you do the work once, like the 3 single lets that we had, and do it once, make them look nice, look after the tenants that are in there, and you don't have any problems. And it's not as much time suck as what it is running a normal business. I think that's what the difference is between what passive income they mean by passive income, which the property does the work, not you. Yeah. You still have to go around there and manage it, but the property does the work with the home extensions that we're doing. You probably have to go out there. I think one time it's 250 miles round trip to go around and have a look at all the jobs, and that definitely shouldn't be doing in building work, and 100% shouldn't be doing it in properties. Keep everything local. However, other people do make properties spread all over the country work. I don't know how.
It's like I said, each different people, different horses, different courses. Yeah. But I like being able to just be able to go to it. I suppose if it should, I suppose it like obviously you two off. For me, when I've got a full-time job as well. If I was full-time in it, I could dedicate more time to it. It's obviously a bit more freedom to do that, but it's still the same. Yeah. Still, obviously.
I think with things like in the WhatsApp group the other day, there was that problem with the drains. If it was just down the road, we could have hopped in the car and just gone and had a look and helped. Yeah. You know, when you've got that trusted team around you, you need that.
Because some of the call-outs you have to pay in that, they're outrageous, aren't they? And you just wiped any profits for how many. It's just for myself, it's just an average buy-to-let. It's sort of not. It's not that. Not a pity party, but it's not that great returns.
That's the problem when you're starting off. The costs are quite high for doing any of that. It's not until you've got quite a few properties can you start looking at getting other tradespeople that are interested in coming to help me. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not spreading your portfolio. I've got some friends who've got, I think, 2 houses near Southport, been empty for 18 months whilst he's been renovating because he's so busy doing other things. That's not important, but it is really important because it now costs him his rent and double council tax.
It's outrageous.
Yeah, so keep it close.
Yeah, I agree. But
and then the other thing, if you're starting out as well, one of the things that we got told is have a coffee meeting nearby. Don't have a full-on blown property meeting because it takes loads of time, but just have a little coffee networking meeting Starbucks with local landlords that you get 2 or 3 people to come along and put it on social media, and eventually you find you get 10 or 15 people come in, and you get to know what's going on a lot better than if you're just sitting at home trying to make it work.
Yeah. Everyone knows something you don't as well, don't they?
Yeah.
It's just if you just get some like-minded people around you, and then everyone like I said, I've met it on a contract. Everyone's really helpful, to be honest. That's what it's about, isn't it? Trying to help each other. What else? Best best deal / moment in your property?
I think that's got to be our most recent one, hasn't it?
Yeah, we bought a mixed-use commercial building with 4 flats over it, and it was advertised online for the amount of money that you'd actually pay for probably a 3-bedroom house. But there was 4 flats in a commercial unit. The commercial unit is as big as someone's house. And then we spent probably 12 months negotiating with the landlord pretty quickly, got the price down, and we paid him less than what he paid for it because he's motivated to sell. He just wanted to retire and get out. And then renovated the property over 12 months. That was the 4 flats. Changed the tenant downstairs because he didn't want interested in paying any more rent or operating his businesses legally that were in there. There's more than one. There's things like the fire alarms and stuff been disconnected. You can't. You don't want to be taking that kind of risk with people living above.
You can't, can you?
So we ended up going there, putting a new fire alarm in, making sure everything's as legal as what you can be, and then getting a new tenant in there is paying more rent. So it's doubling the rental income, doubling the value of the property in 12 or 18 months.
Is that the one up on the other side of town? Is it?
Yes.
That's Standard Roadway, isn't it? Up there. Same again. You've done it looks superb, doesn't it? Like I said, it was painted some horrible colour before, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was nice when Rob, you ended up painting it, didn't you, with the painter, and people would walk past and say, "Thank goodness you've now painted it into a nice colour."
But I think that was because I wasn't sure. And I think Jim Halliburton, we sit down with him once a month and having a bit of a property mastermind. I said to him, "Do you think painting the outside of that building would make it worth more money?" And definitely just get on with it. Ask the mortgage broker same kind of questions. Like, we didn't have 20 grand painting the outside of the building because it needed all the windows doing and the outside painting. And it's not just painting. As soon as you start peeling the paint off, it brings out more problems. So get rid of all those things, 20 grand. I reckon that probably added 30, 40, 50 grand onto the fact because it looks nice now.
Yeah, it does. Really impressive.
So it's effectively...
And it more than doubled what we paid for it.
Yeah.
That's superb. That's what we want, isn't it?
But then you look at it, we sent a letter to the owner because the letting agent wouldn't, or the agent that was selling it wasn't playing ball with having a communication with the owner. So we sent a letter direct to the owner. 2 days later, he's on the phone. But I look back, it was 2023, and we've only just remortgaged it. So it's like 18 months, 2 years to get the mortgage through. So it's quite a long time. There's not so many of those you can do before it becomes for us retirement time.
Yeah. Worst deal. Did you remember worst deal? Worst moment? Can be moment.
I don't think
any nightmare tenants.
I think for me, it's our first property that we bought. Night number 2. Night number 2 of being a landlord. Got this passive income. Phone call, 2:00 in the morning. There's water pissing through the ceiling of the flat downstairs. There's something gone wrong with the boiler, and there's water coming down the stairs. Oh, no. Go over there. Luckily, the flat underneath was empty, and the guy was renovating it, and he happened to be coming back from Cannock on a night out. We go around there. Open the door to his flat. There's literally a waterfall coming down from our flat above. We had to take all the carpets out and clean it all out and go around and hoover up all of his flat. Luckily, just by chance, he was redecorated. There was no furniture in there. That's kind of like day 2 of being a landlord.
That literally was our day 2. Yeah.
It's probably the dreaded phone call, isn't it? You get that, because you just don't know what you're going to come to, and it's just no one being there.
That was our introduction to being landlords. That was.
Yeah, it's definitely.
We still carried on.
Even last week, I was driving to a house and they were saying that there's water coming in from the floor. And I said, and then I got a phone call saying there's water coming from the ceiling. I said, hold on, which one is it? The ceiling? No, this is a different house. Yeah, so same phone call, two different problems. It's great.
You never quite know what your day is going to bring, which is sometimes good, sometimes not so good. And I think one of the downsides is just continuously having to look out for new regs.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, with the changes coming up, it's going to be eventually a little bit more settled, but still a little bit up and down for a while.
Yeah.
Just keep looking out there for that.
Yeah,
you can't change it.
No, exactly.
Can't change it. You just got to look for the opportunity.
Yeah.
So there'll be people retiring wanting to get out of it. You just got to start
exactly
looking.
That, yeah. Especially because some people from years ago, they've done really well, haven't they? And just sort of I've had all this new I can't even say the word, all the new legal stuff.
Yeah.
Just had enough, haven't they? And it's just more motivated sellers, isn't it? Which if someone wants to get into it, it's a great thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a good time to buy.
Another one before we wrap up. 3 favourite books Self-development wise.
We were talking about this before we came out.
I remember you put on the
Rob's the
group ages
reader.
ago was the Profit First one. You put that in the group ages ago, and I listened to that. I listened to a lot on Audible. I'm not much of a reader, and I thought that was obviously I haven't really got a business properly yet. Well, hopefully I will one day. But I thought that just in your everyday life, the money tips in that I thought was absolutely brilliant. I've done a lot of that going forward as well, and I'll let you have that as one if you can't think of.
Which one was that again?
Profit First. That was.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Gino, not Ginny Wickman. I know it'll come to be Mike Motorbike.
Is it? I've no idea.
Or something
I've
like that.
no idea, but I remember you put that in the group, and I thought I'll try that. And then I love a Audible when I'm in the truck, I thought it was brilliant. So any in any aspect, we can get better in any aspect.
Yeah, basically, to take out from that book really is put some money aside. So if you get paid, if you're making $100,000 a year or turning over $100,000 a year in a business, and you want to make 5%, when you get paid, take 5% out, put it in a separate bank account, and you're separating your profit, and then move that after 6 months into something that's difficult to get the money out of. Otherwise, you just spend it.
Yeah.
And then do the same with your wages, do the same with your tax bill and that kind of thing, and then you can manage your money a lot better from your bank accounts, which is how most people operate their businesses anyway.
It's really good habit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I said, now we just automate it all anyway, can't it? And it's just like you said, it can soon build up, can't it? And it's just, especially with the tax bill one, because that needs, you got to pay it, haven't you? Unfortunately.
So what are the books then?
For me, there's The Cash Flow by Brad Sugars. That's another good book to read. Brad Sugars, Australian business coach, action coach. Great set of formulas in there for looking after your business and monitoring and measuring things that go on. Another one, you've probably heard of it as well. What's that one? Robert Kiyosaki?
Yeah, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that's good. Yeah, I think that's the first one I listened to on the...
I think with that book, I think a lot of landlords have read it because all of a sudden you realise what assets have you got, what liabilities have you got. And your house that you live in isn't really an asset, it's a liability because you've got to have it. And if you don't pay the money on it, someone's going to come and take it off you, and it doesn't produce anything like your car. So you see lots of landlords drive around in old beaten up BMWs, Volvos, Mercs. There's no outstanding payments on there. They're not driving around in something flashy because they realise you don't make money from it. It's literally lose money.
I think that's a really good. The way he explains that in that book, it's really good. It just gives you a really good understanding, doesn't it? And it's great. I think that's, like you said, you got the two people, both, like you said, not both intelligent people, just in different ways, isn't it? Really. And I thought that it is it's a reason why it's like number one, isn't it?
And then it's having a balance sheet as well. And if you're doing your goals at the end of the year, just work out how much debt you've got, how much the properties are worth. And then also do the same with your own time. How much time are you putting into what you're doing? Is loads of time or not much? And is it getting better and is it getting worse? Go back and have a look at what you did last year. And if you're really just starting out, do it month by month. Okay, what have I done? Is it getting better or is it getting worse? But monitor it. But so that balance sheet is do it every year. Now, whether it's financially working for, because like us, we're doing property. It's our pension. We haven't got a state pension when we retire. Probably won't be worth very much. Obviously, you guys are going to have to work twice as hard to pay it. And we're building property portfolios effectively. You don't really want to give loads of money away every month to people in the city who keep probably a third of anything that your pension makes in their fees. It's not worth it. Do property instead.
Completely agree. Right, but just before we finish off, I've got five. I say I've got quick fire questions. I don't think I have. I think I've got 4 on here, but I'll read them off anyway. Single let or HMOs? Both.
Because
like that.
One's fast cash, one's long term.
Well, that goes into the cash flow or capital. It's going to be both.
Because you need both.
Both.
You can't just survive on one.
And at different stages in your property career, you probably do go for one over the other.
It's good to.
You need both.
Yeah, agree. Completely agree. That's all I say on it is I completely agree. Cause
That's good. Come again.
Best advice?
Again, Jim Halliburton. Once a tenant has something or you've given it to them, so you might have given them something in an HMO, you can't take it away without causing an upset in the relationship. So be very careful about giving people or tenants something and taking it away. There might be things like you're single let and you knock the garage down, they haven't got it anymore. That's something going to cost them quite a lot of money or ill will in fact that they haven't got it. Whereas if you give them a garage, they'll be really happy. So it's just making sure you keep that in the back of your mind, that what you've given, don't take it back.
while we got Jim on the thing, obviously I won that mentorship with Jim from your property meet, which was obviously great. So thank you very much. That's I do really mean really grateful for you starting it, because everything in my property journey has been massively helped by yourselves, and then some of the speakers you've had have been superb as well. And but yeah, Jim is a great character, isn't he? And he's like, we have a Zoom every week, 6 or 7. And he's just great fun to speak to, isn't he? His stories. He's like he said, he's 74, isn't he? 74, yeah. And he just does it because he loves it, and he'll help. Like he said, he helps you out, and he just really is a top bloke, and he's a joy to be around. But
there's not a lot he hasn't done, to be fair. So he's great. Yeah,
great. A fountain of knowledge, isn't he? And a top bloke.
One thing I would say as well about a good tip is always make sure, if you do it, especially rent to rent, make sure you go in every single room in the property that the landlord's showing you around.
Before you take it on.
And it was one of the nightmare rooms.
Was it?
Yeah.
What do you mean by nightmare? Just is it too small? Just a mess.
So when you're considering going in and looking at rent to rent for the HMO, you've got to go in and obviously weigh up how much
you can charge per room,
charge per room, and how much rent you're going to commit to be giving to the landlord. So there's a lot of things you've got to weigh up. But yeah, we went round this one particular one, and he showed us all the rooms. We could see the house was in an awful state, but he couldn't get into this one. He says, "Oh, I haven't had a message back from this tenant because, I'm not quite sure where she is at the moment." So I can't go in that room, but all the other rooms are absolutely fine. So we went in those, and we were like, "Oh, yeah, we'll just go with it. We'll just go with it." So the day we got the keys, we actually did go in, and she'd abandoned the room, and there were 3. We've come to find there were 3 rabbits actually still living in the room. No food, eating books and all sorts. However, when we finally contacted her, she said that she was coming back every 2 weeks. It's fine. She's coming back every 2 weeks to look after the rabbits because she's moved into a council property and she can't take the rabbits with her. So it was and the house was.
Even the HMO officer realised how bad it was, and he was kind of grateful to be taking it on and got rid of all the problems in there.
3-story HMO, and the smell was downstairs, and there was fly papers everywhere because there was just flies everywhere. We did wonder whether there was going to be a dead body, but it wasn't quite that bad.
It's insane what some people do, isn't it?
Absolutely,
keeping a room let for your rabbits that you just
exactly.
Yeah. Bizarre.
The rabbits did find a new house.
Yeah, that's good. The happy ending for the rabbits. That's what we want.
They had a rabbit.
Yeah, there you go. Merry Christmas. I don't know, Joyce, I've asked ChatGPT these questions. Worst advice. I don't know if you should be passing worst advice on. I suppose could be a lesson from it.
I think it's that word, passive income.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it obviously does depend what you do, but the majority of property is not passive income. And these people, when people say it's £1, it only costs you £1 to get these deals. It never does.
No.
And rent-to-rent things being really cheap. Yes, they are cheaper, but you still got to have a good 5 to 10 grand in your pocket to do any type of thing. But on the plus side of that, you just got to remember, actually, property is an expensive game. Yeah. Anything you do, even if it's just paying a solicitor or paying whatever, it's going to be expensive.
Exactly, yeah.
And you've just got to get that into
I think it's dead refreshing to hear that, because like you said, you see all these people online, don't you, saying, "Oh yeah, do this, do that," and they don't need no money in that. It's just not really true, is it? It's like, and obviously you can start with little money, and there's ways, but like just don't talk crap.
When we started, we just remortgaged the house, and we'd got a pot of cash, and it was either go and get a job or carry on running your own business, but swapping what we were doing. So you've got to, but you end up putting that money in, and that's what you're going to be living on for the next 2 years. It takes a long time before you can actually start taking money out of the company.
It's a big thing to do, isn't it? Like, it's not for the faint-hearted, is it?
No.
It's like you said, people think, like you said, "Oh, you got these." Well, I've got a lot of debt as well.
Yeah.
But
you've got to keep these properties in ship shape.
Yeah, exactly that. And you want to provide a good, and that's what I think.
You must.
I've never met anyone, and especially any of these meets, like, because you hear all these landlord nightmares, don't you? That they put tenants in horrible things. I've never met one. And it's obviously they are. I'm not saying they're not out there. Of course they are, because you get good and bad. There's going to be bad landlords as well as good and bad tenants.
That's when we started out doing rent to rent. It was the thing that we didn't want to increase the competition, so we didn't want to get a single let house and turn it into an HMO. We'd rather get an old HMO and make it better. Otherwise, there's more rooms on the market and everyone loses out then. But it's that thing when you walk going and looking at where people are on the verge of giving up and the reasons why they're giving up. You can see just from the state of the house, and it's that just keep doing it a little bit every few months just to keep your house at the top of because it'll soon lose money if you don't.
Me and Tom went to view 3 flats last week in Stoke, and we went up there. Just what you said, we couldn't get into the one because the tenant was on nights. This was like it looked good from the outside.
Yeah.
But it was I went in there, and some people were living in the 2 we seen, and I couldn't have took that on.
Yeah.
I would have wanted to put them out and just sort it out because what they were living in, it weren't right, to be honest.
I always look at property and think, actually, you've got to see yourself. If you think you could live in that room or that flat, then that's quality you need to be making it. It doesn't have to be ultra modern. It just needs to be clean, tidy, functional.
I completely agree. I wouldn't expect anyone to stop in somewhere I wouldn't. And then my 2 rentals are better than my house. they're not living with cupboards hanging off just because we can't afford to get the kitchen done yet. Yeah. But I do think that's great. I treat people like you want to be treated, and don't. Basically, you got to be more really. They're sort of obviously they're not guests because it's their own home, but you can't expect people to do what you'd get by with when it's not theirs technically, is it? Which isn't fair.
I mean, we've had tenants that have stayed in our properties for years, haven't we? And in HMOs, that's you do get a big mixture of people, but it's quite nice when they stay there for a long time, and it's quite nice when they leave and then come back.
Yeah,
which is what we get quite a lot of.
Speaks volumes, doesn't it, of the service that you provide for. Like you said, if it was crap, they wouldn't come back, would they? And like you said, they wouldn't stay for so long if it was. Yeah. Especially in the HMO. Jim says that perfectly, doesn't he? So he's never had someone view one and say, "Yeah, I think this is going to do me for the rest of my life." It's a sort of stopping gap, isn't it? But if it's good, you'll keep them for a bit longer. It's what you want, really, isn't it? Because
although we have got a couple of
long termers.
Yeah.
Good stuff. But I will finish on that, but I'll say it again. I really appreciate your time because you're busy people. And secondly, again, just thank you very much for everything you do and starting up the.
Same to you, Joe. Thank you for inviting us.
So that's it. Thank you very much.